It's so funny. This is a topic I'm very passionate about because yesterday I was actually sitting with my cousin and his wife, and she was talking about how she wants to start her online closet, and she always gets a lot of inquiries about, how do you style this outfit and how do you do this? And she's the type of person who loves the 9 to 5 routine. She likes going to work, getting her paycheck. And we were just talking about something like that's amazing for you. I would rather kill myself, but yeah, that's amazing. I'm just kidding. Like we were talking about that, and I'm like, why don't you just start your own page for an online closet? So there's so many girls out there doing it, and what's gonna make me different? And I don't feel like, and I think a lot of people, they they think it's such a big obstacle for them to make a change in their life or to even reach out to someone, and they start to, they're like, maybe tomorrow I'll do it, and then they'll hold it off. And I told her, listen, if you're thinking about doing it, don't think, like just do it. And have, Tony Robbins talks about this, he says massive action. Take one action towards it today if you're talking about it right now. And if you let your mind, if you give that power to your mind, it's so funny what it can do to you. It will literally talk you out of doing anything simply out of fear of rejection or fear of how would I look and what if they judged me. So I think I've mastered the fact that it's always going to be like that. People are going to hate, people are going to judge no matter what you do. Worst case, you just get someone telling you, no, I don't want to have a meeting with you. No, I don't want to go for coffee with you. Or I don't like this outfit. Whatever it is the case, I think people are they just give the power to their mind instead of actually just acting upon whatever comes up to them. And they see, I think, a big difference between them and the people that make it, which is why I started my podcast, because I wanted to show that everybody has the same opportunities given to them. We're all skin and flesh, where we all have blood running through our veins. Nothing is different from me or you, so it's just a matter of the story that we tell ourselves and the story that gets us from point A to point B at the end of the day. So
Yeah,
it's a bunch of factors, I think, that
we're all just stardust. That's all that we are. We're just stardust.
Yeah, pretty much. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah.
World's your oyster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that like I really thought about, especially going back to my youth, is that the school system in and of itself, they kind of train people to just not have the confidence in their own ability, so that it trains people for jobs, which means that like you have to go and kind of beg someone for a paycheck every 2 weeks kind of thing, and like make it consistent where you don't have the creativity, and it kind of stamps it out right at the beginning. You don't have the creativity in to be able to do things yourself. Like I remember growing up, I had a friend who was just such a good drawer, but because of the constant, like all he wanted to do was just draw all day. And because all of his teachers kept telling him not to, and he just got sick and tired of hearing it after 8-9 years. So then he just kind of stopped like drawing or whatever, whenever he felt that he really wanted to draw, which is kind of a shame because he was an awesome drawer. But I was very fortunate growing up, mainly from my parents, to instill in me to go out and get work. But the two main jobs that I got as a kid, one of them was being a referee. I think I was 11 years old when I started. I was a referee for box lacrosse as well as for ice hockey when I was 11, 12 years old. And then the other one that I really did, I was doing principal acting work. So I'd have to go out to auditions and stuff. Those two jobs, I don't think there's ever been any harder jobs I've ever done. Even what I do with my agency, it's still not even close to how hard it was for me as a 12, 13-year-old to just get berated by adults for criticizing me for like any type of like officiating stuff, adults going out and swearing at you and like wanting to fight you. Like there's a video on my YouTube channel, pretty funny. It's my most watched video. It's of a hockey dad who wanted to come onto the ice to fight me and my friend, who were refereeing his kid's game. That's just kind of an example of like the stuff that we kind of had to, but that's more of a comedy stuff, because that's why I got a lot of views, because it's just hilarious. Yeah, I definitely recommend, if you guys are watching this on my YouTube channel, just to go watch that video. It's just really funny. You see me in it a little bit. But that job, when I had that as a kid, that really instilled in me to one of the books that I really saw this in is like stand up with your back straight, your shoulders back, and like stand up with like really good posture. And that was from Jordan Peterson's 10 Rules for Life.
12 Rules, yeah. It's really good.
Yeah,
it's a really good book.
Yeah, it's a great book. And I really learned that as a kid when I was doing that type of job, and like how grown, and it really brought into me that like, hey, adults could just be as much idiots, if not more idiots than kids are. Or they're just kind of like more scared, or there's like, they've just gone through so much trauma in their own life and they just don't know how to react to something that might not be going their way. That they don't have control of, especially with their kids or whatever, because so many parents are just so controlling of their kids too. And I had to really empathize with those type of people that like, they don't really necessarily mean, like they don't mean to curse me out as a 12, 13-year-old when they're like in their mid 50s or so, or mid 40s.
Yeah.
And the other job that really helped me go over my mindset was with principal acting work and going out to auditions as a 15, 16-year-old and just being rejected time after time after time, always rejected. But I had to come to the conclusion that it wasn't my fault, because I was losing roles to people that were above the age of 18. And because of the laws in Canada, where, especially in the film industry, where you can only keep a minor on set, I believe, for only 8 hours, including a 1-hour lunch. So really, there's only really on camera, I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 hours or so. I'm not too sure if you've ever been on set or done any like
No,
movies or
true.
anything like that, TV shows and stuff, but those days can be 16-hour long, 16-hour days, 18-hour days. And it's very like, why would anyone want to hire someone with this type of regulation, even though they might be the perfect person for it, but they can only work a certain amount of time when they know that they need this amount of time, and they can only rent out a space for a day or something like that. So
Yeah.
it was something that I had to get over like myself, but it was one of those things that you just mentioned. It's the constant rejection, and people are very scared of rejection. And that was one of the activities that I did in my youth that really helped me just not be scared of, if someone says no, I'm like, well, at least that's an answer.
Yeah.
At least they
Really,
said
yeah, I've come to
no.
that too.
Yeah, exactly. Like the worst thing that someone can like do is just like not say anything, but then you have full on permission to just keep like asking. Like if
Yeah.
someone doesn't give you an answer, then that's their own problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing. So
Just
how
give
did
me a no.
exactly